Good morning, team owners. Monday morning, team owners of the 16-team League USFL. Look, I'm going to call all these games and do the brief highlights here of round one and explain a few things. All of you, but a few, remain active in the playoffs. Some of you are out. Whether you want to line them up or not is up to you. This is the first time you've been here under this playoff format, so I will go over some things. First off, let's go with the top tier bracket. I think Kyle Smith will be completing the rest of the playoff highlights, previews, and such, and messages the remainder of this season, of your season here. Remember, this is a year-round league. You never quit playing. You build when you fall out of the playoffs because you can do that early before the others. This allows the lesser fortunate teams of the season to pick up and scrap up and strategize and do the best they can to build a good poker hand going into next year. All right, Houston Gamblers, Bill Kellick's team goes into Memphis. Memphis Showboat, strong all year. William Brackeen's team prevails 25-21. Big Ben was good enough for Will this week. Even though the Pittsburgh Steelers and the NFL have fallen, Will has been able to hold it together with his Showboats, finishing with a 10-3 record during the regular season and winning his first round over Bill. Bill, look, you are still playing. Everyone remember this when I say it. You are still playing in the playoffs. You cannot make the top four. You cannot win it all, but you can still finish 5th or 6th on the top 8 board. Very respectable. We do tally points as a dynasty type league as to where you stand as an overall individual player within our league. So every spot you move up, even though you're not going to win that top 4, does tally up over seasons and decades if you're with us that long. So again, Memphis Showboats advance. Oklahoma Outlaws, Kyle Smith and Craig Christian win their game pretty handily over Stephen Miller's Oakland Invaders. Looks like that score is going to be somewhere around 32-22 when it's all said and done. Kyle and Craig move on to the next round. George Kittle had a great game. Beckham, I would have said, but Beckham's gone for the moment. But nonetheless, the Oklahoma Outlaws come out with a win and advance. Stephen Miller, you are still in the playoffs, still lining them up against your foe this next coming week, which Kyle will discuss when he breaks down round 2. Birmingham Stallions, Chris Flame. Chris had a strong year. Everything was working good for him. Michael Summers Stars actually is one of our higher point scorers all season long. And so this should have been a much closer game than it was. Thielen is still left to play on Chris's team, the Stallions. He's possibly someone who could score enough points to come back and win this game. But I am calling it at the time. May regret it, but I'm calling it just because I've got so much work to do. Philadelphia Stars, Michael Summer, does appear that they will definitely advance. Chris, strong team, stay in there. Playoffs are not over. You guys that lost this week in the top tier bracket are playing for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th spot. And you're also playing, if you lose in round 2, you'll have to play one of those teams in the bottom tier that has won their first 2 rounds. You could fall out of the top 8 board. Lots on the line for you guys that lost this week. You are still in it, and you are still having something to play for. Philadelphia Stars advance. Michael Summers, congratulations over Chris Flame's Stallions. And finally, Michael Rodriguez put up a good fight, was ahead most of this game, was the underdog, his Bulls, to the Michigan Panthers. But Kenneth Beatty puts it together once again. His players just somehow perform throughout the entire Thursday through Sunday and even Monday games. I've watched that happen time and time again with Kenneth Beatty's team. He prevails again 27-25 over Michael Rodriguez Bulls. Michael, again, you're not out of it. I will be adding your future owner to your team. He will be silent and sit there until your season is officially over. At that time, I would remove you, and J.C. Conger will be running the Bulls going forward. In the bottom tier, you guys, the teams that lost are out of the playoffs. You guys need to do something, and that is you need to be scooping up prospective players. The only way you can do that is drop your kicker, defensive player, team defense, and in doing so, you will be able to pick up some offensive players, running backs, and such. You know, there's folks out there like Michael Gallup, maybe nobody has. You know, he could be a budding star next year. Some of these guys that are on a loaded team in the NFL could be traded to another team and be the starter. You have to speculate all these things, and you want to pick these guys up. The reason you want to pick these guys up is because we have draft pick trading where you are going to be able to trade after the season opens back up. The software will close down from February through probably early June. When it opens back up, everything will be intact. You want to have a roster full of players that are speculative and hopeful along with your proven players. It's going to matter when you start negotiating. It's going to matter in the preseason when somebody gets hurt and somebody's suddenly the starter because you went out there and shopped. So you guys in this bottom tier, if you lose, indeed, after Monday Night Football tonight, you need to be starting to strategize. These guys that win can't afford to get rid of their kicker, defensive player, and team defense and such. They can't afford to do that. You can if you lose. That's the advantage. You are the lesser, weaker teams, generally speaking, going forward. You know, you're going to be earlier in the draft. That's listed on the main league page already. But you also can scoop up these players when the others can't. And believe me, if your poker hand is, the stronger your poker hand is, and I say poker hand because no one knows who's going to keep how many and such. So your poker hand needs to be full. If you're only holding on to 3 players and they're great players, everybody's going to know, well, he's keeping 3. That not necessarily you could keep none, but holding great players. But you want to hold more players than you would keep to keep everyone guessing where you are. But if you have lost after this week, you need to be dropping those players. Let the other team scramble and try to pick up a good kicker or a good team defense that you might have out there. That's always fun to watch them throw their poles in and rush to catch those great fish out there in the way of ancillary players. But Tampa Bay Bandits, Brian Tracy, number 16 seed, takes it to the Generals. Generals are going to have a comeback night on Monday Night Football. I think that Jose is going to be able to do it, though. This is the beauty of the league. Tampa Bay Bandits ranked number 16, 2-11 win over the Generals. They do advance. Jose, your season is over, and you need to be scrapping up those players. Anybody has any questions, let me know. Jose is coming back. I'm allowing 1 year. He must have a winning record in both leagues to hold on to his Generals. Brian Tracy, we have talked to Brian, and Brian's going to focus strictly on the Tampa Bay Bandits in the 20-team league, and we are going to find someone for the Tampa Bay Bandits in this league once the season is over. Pittsburgh Mall's Darren Spitzer does it again. Spoiler award, 3-10, takes down the Chicago Blitz 22-20.7 in a close game. Actually, Darren has one more player to play. Lots of fun there. Not so much for Larry Hansen. Larry, you need to be picking up those ancillary players. Your playoff season is over, even though you will line up with someone. Ricky Carver in a very close game against Kevin Perilou. Arizona Wranglers come out over the gold. Ricky need to be doing the same thing, scooping up those players. And Joey Maynard of the Boston Breakers looks like they're going to win. They got an 11-point lead. El Briscoe's got 3 players left. El Briscoe, you also are going to be focusing on the 20-team league going forward. If indeed you lose this game, we will be putting a replacement in there, and you will solely be in the 20-team league. Look, if you got any questions, Kyle's going to go over some stuff too when he does the previews for round 2. Good luck to everyone. Have a great week.